What's up, YouTube? In this video, I want to go over some of the best niches I feel that you could get into to start your remote sales career. These niches are simple to get into and they're all six-figure plus opportunities, only assuming that you're the right individual. So you come to the table with the right mindset, the right work ethic, and the right skill sets to get the job done. A little about myself in case you're new to the channel. My name is Michael Sampson and I'm the Vice President of Inside Sales for a massive telecommunications company. I've actually been the #1 remote representative in my company for the past 4 years straight, so I have a little experience in this niche. So before we get into it, and in no specific order, these are all six-figure plus opportunities, but first and foremost, I want to go over the pros and cons of selling telecommunications remotely. So this is actually how I got started selling remotely. I was selling home security systems door to door for a massive home security company. And they built a massive business, basically selling home security systems across Canada and US. What the products were doorbell cameras, outdoor cameras, door and window sensors. And essentially how it worked is, in the rare and unlikely event that there was an intrusion, medical emergency, or fire, the system would call out to the monitoring station to provide help for that homeowner. Now, what ended up happening, to make a long story short, COVID-19 ended up happening and we could no longer go door to door because of that. So instead of making excuses and complaining, we started to get creative. We figured, okay, how can we still make an income if we can't sell the service belly to belly anymore? So what we decided to do was make Facebook, Google, YouTube ads, plaster them all over the internet, and then we started gaining some traction over the phone and doing this business remotely, and that's how I'm in this position right now. So some of the pros, some of the cons of selling remotely that I want to go over. Pro number one is that it's an essential service. So it's not open for discussion, it's not open for debate. Everybody uses a cell phone. Everybody needs internet. Some people still use TV. Some people, believe it or not, still have a home phone. Some people still like the idea of having a monitored security system connected to police, fire, and medical. Now, because the services are essential, it makes it a quote-unquote easier sale, only because I don't have to persuade you on something that you're already using, right? All I have to do is show why what I'm offering has more value, and if I could come in at a more aggressive price point, or even the same thing as what you're paying right now, but if I could provide more bells and whistles on the service, right, then a transaction will occur. A second pro when selling home security and telecommunications is that you are partnered up with a massive brand. So if you're in Canada, you most likely know who Bell, Rogers, Telus are. The big three here in Canada that these guys literally run the whole country. In America, and please forgive me, I don't know the American providers, but you have Verizon, you have Sprint, AT&T, I don't know who else there is, but you get the idea. When you're on the phone with a prospect and you're able to drop any one of these names, the customer is instantly going to trust you because they know the brand. That company has an established brand, established recognition, right? And again, like I said, it's easy to sell, but one of the major pros with selling telecommunications is the fact that it's quick pay. So if you get service installed on Friday, for example, this Friday, you're going to see a check the following Friday. I can't say the same thing with any of these other niches. There are a lot bigger ticket items, but the bigger ticket comes with more of a cycle. With telecommunications, it's really quick income that you could be generating ASAP. Now, with that said, like anything else, there's definitely some cons. Con number one is because it's quick pay, that often means it's a lower ticket item. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're selling somebody a $10 home phone, how much do you think that company is going to pay out? Or if you're selling somebody a $25 mobility line, what kind of money do you think the company could pay out? However, not to deter you from selling something lower ticket, because at the end of the day, if you look at the dollar store, how does a dollar store make money? I could tell you how they don't make money. They don't make money by selling $10, $20, $30 commission products. They make and earn money by selling low ticket items, but it's a volume play. They must do hundreds or thousands of transactions a day. And at the end of the day, they're still a lucrative business model. They're still very and highly profitable. So that's the first con. The second con I want to go over is that in this industry, it's a race to the bottom. And what do I mean by that? If I'm selling internet for $40 and another company is selling it for $39, 50% of the time, the customer is going to go to the $1 cheaper. Why is that? It's a race to zero, right? The customers want to pay as close to $0 a month. Now, that's not always the case, but I think you get the idea, right? People want to save the most money, and it's very much on, okay, it's a commoditized product, a commoditized solution. It's like, it's the same thing. How cheap can I get it? So you really have to offer something that has good value in these niches. So I definitely advise that you find a company that has a great offer, number one, and number two, they pay out decent commissions. Now, moving forward with some of the other niches, we're going to discuss solar. Now, in case you don't know what solar is, and this is a very basic, watered down explanation, so don't mind me. Essentially how it works is you put solar panels on the roof, the sun hits the solar panels, and now you're producing your own electricity, and the goal is to eventually make or produce enough electricity where you don't even have to pay an electricity bill. So one of the major pros with this is that it's environmentally friendly, right? A lot of people love the idea that you're saving the environment. Another huge pro with that, if you're in Canada, I can't say the same in America, but in Canada, this is a revolutionary thing. This is a new concept. Solar Canada hasn't been popping off for too long. However, in America, it's been going on for years, and it's been wildly successful. A lot of people are saving a ton of money, improving their house value, and it's crazy. So with it being something new here in Canada, a lot of people are just all ears, right? A lot of people are super excited to be a part of something new. Now, one of my favorite things about solar is that it is a high ticket commission. What do I mean by that? Solar panels range anywhere from $5,000 to $200,000, I'm guessing. Like, they could be really expensive depending on that customer's usage, right? Not to get too granular and all this information here. But basically, if you're able to sell a solar system that's worth $50,000, the company is going to pay you a healthy amount of commission. I don't know what the exact percentage is, to be transparent. Every company is different. But I'm under the impression average commission value is anywhere from $2,000 to maybe $20,000, which is really, really good. Now, again, comparing that to the telecommunications side of things, where I was saying it's low ticket, but it's a volume play, this is the complete opposite. You may only do 1 or 2 or 3 transactions in a single month compared to the 50 plus you'll do selling low ticket items, but those 3 transactions will definitely pay, in theory, a heck of a lot more than low ticket. Now, again, at the end of the day, you still have to work. You still have to have the mindset and skill set to make that happen. Now, here are the cons with solar right now, at least Solar Canada. Right now, there's a ton of hoops you have to jump through. Why I say that? Because how it works here is the Canadian government's going to fund X amount of dollars, but in order to do that, you have to go to the City of Calgary website, or the government website, I should say. You have to fill in a bunch of things. You have to take a bunch of pictures. They have to come out, permit the house, make sure the roof's good. There's a hell of a lot of things that you have to go through. There's a hell of a lot of things that we have to sort out before you can actually get the process started. Okay. In addition to that, the payout times are super long as well. Now, don't get me wrong. Oftentimes, companies will pay 10% up front and then the remaining 90% at the end of 3 or 4 months. But you're selling a construction project. This isn't going to happen overnight. This is a 2, 3, 4 month wait before the customer gets the end product and before you get paid in full. So you have to come to the table with some bankroll, right? If you're a dangerously broke gentleman or a dangerously broke person, I don't suggest jumping into solar right off the top, unless you have some kind of a nest egg to keep you afloat for a bit. And same idea with telecommunications. It's kind of a race to the bottom. Why I say that? Customers are eventually going to be like, okay, XYZ company is selling me this solar system for 20,000. Let me ask company 2, 3, and 4, get a bunch of quotes. And whoever is closest to zero, guess who's going to choose? The one closest to zero, right? Now, don't get me wrong. It's still high commission. There's still high margins. But just like any other product or service like this, you're racing down to the bottom. But again, so far, these are both 6-figure plus opportunities. Again, I come from the telecommunication space, a quote unquote low ticket space. And over 3-4 years in this industry, I've made over 7 figures of commissions doing this. So there's definitely money to be earned in both these industries. Now, moving forward, another thing that you could sell remotely is real estate wholesaling. So of the 4, this, full transparency, I've never done. I have good friends that are making 6 figures doing this, and I'll explain kind of how it works in a very watered down elementary version of it. So essentially how wholesaling works is you choose a market. And by the way, this is in Canada, I wouldn't suggest it, but from what I'm hearing in America, it's popping off only because the population, right? The population's crazy. Like all of California is bigger than Canada or as big as Canada, whatever the numbers are. Anyways, back to the point. With wholesaling, basically how it works is you go online and you're finding rundown properties, right? And these people are often in distress situations. So maybe they're going through a divorce, a bankruptcy, or whatever the situation is. So you'd go online, you'd find these properties, you'd call up the homeowner, make them an offer. So for easy math's sake, let's say you found a house, it's beat up, you made an offer of $100,000, and the homeowner agrees to sell it to you for that price of $100,000. You then put the house under contract, so you technically own the house, well, almost own the house now, it's under contract, and what your goal is to find a local investor to buy that contract or to take that contract for you, and you got it for 100. Let's say you're going to give it to the investor for 115. So what did you just do? You profited $15,000 on the transaction, and all you did was find the deal and put it together, right? For the investor or the house flipper, he's still happy with that because it's still a good deal. What his intention is to basically fix it up, put it on the market for 150 or 200, and he's still winning. So I'm winning, that person's winning, and everybody's winning in this transaction, right? So pros with this, it's definitely an easier barrier to entry compared to if I wanted to be a real estate agent. If I wanted to become a real estate agent, I'd have to spend a few $1,000s to get my license, and there's a hell of a lot more work than just getting involved as a wholesaler. Literally as a wholesaler, you could go online. If you know what you're doing, you could start that day, essentially. There isn't a bunch of licensing you need. You just need to know what the laws are, the legalities, and know what the hell you're doing, right? In addition to that, it's a nationwide opportunity. So, and that's another huge thing with all of these niches that we've been discussing, is that you have the whole nation or pretty much the whole world to sell to, which is super exciting. When I was selling door to door, if I wanted to make income, I had to talk to that person directly in front of me. In any of these niches, I could make money from people in Canada and people in America. It's an absolutely lucrative thing to do because, again, it's remote, right? As long as that your product or service is being sold in that specific country, then you could help make a transaction happen. Now, another big thing with this is that it's high ticket. Huge margins available in this, which is absolutely fantastic, right? I think my buddy was saying the average assignment fee is about 10 grand, which is fantastic, right? Again, comparing over here where it could go as low as like 10, 15 bucks. Now, with that being said, like anything, there's some cons with all these niches. And here are the cons with wholesaling, in my opinion. Again, this is just a watered down version of what it is. But because you're dealing with houses, because you're dealing with property taxes and all that good stuff. There's a lot of legality that you need to know. And in every state, in every province, all the legality is going to be different. So this niche to get into, you really have to know your stuff. It's definitely easier to get involved wholesaling compared to a real estate agent, but you get what I'm trying to say. You have to really know where you're selling, the legality, what you can and cannot do. And because of that as well, because of it being high ticket, the payout times could be absolutely brutal, right? Like if the investor doesn't want to take the contract for another 2 or 3 months, right? Well, just like the solar, if you're a broke gentleman, if you don't have a dollar to your name and you need fast money, this might not be the avenue for you to go into until you have that bankroll. But again, tried and proven, this is a 6-figure opportunity as well. Now, last and not least, okay, the last industry I want to discuss and talk about is the info product and online educational space. Now, if you don't know, I just want to share a background on what exactly this niche is, because this is something that's been blowing up for, I don't even know how many years, but I assure you, you're going to see it coming up, and it's just getting absolutely crazy. So when it comes to info products, there's 3 categories that a lot of these programs fall under, okay? Health, wealth, and relationships. So a little background on informational product companies. Basically what they do is they sell information. So let's talk about wealth. Here are some program examples on wealth opportunities, wealth business models. So how to become a trader in 90 days or less. So somebody that's looking to earn income, hence why it's called wealth, but you're looking to earn an income, he's interested to learn how to become a trader, would purchase this kind of program. Or another example is how to start a bookkeeping business. Okay, so this individual wants to become a business owner, so he's going to start up looking into this specific niche because he has admirations of making more income in this type of way. Another example is how to make audiobooks and sell those on Audible and make a passive recurring income like that. So that kind of gives you some information on what an information business is. Okay, the exciting thing about this niche is that these programs range anywhere from $2,000 to like $80,000. And the average commission price of these types of programs are anywhere from 10 to 12%. So you could do the math on that really quick, right? If you're selling a $2,000 offer, then you're going to get $200 in your pocket. Now, the pro with this is that it's quick. These are often one-call closes, right? There isn't a bunch of follow-up. You don't have to, like the solar, where there's a bunch of hoops to jump through. There isn't any of that, right? A second example are health online businesses. Okay, so some health examples are how to lose 20 pounds in 90 days, how to stop smoking in X amount of time frame, how to get a 6-pack abs, right? So another, and in my opinion, when it comes to remote sales, this is probably the king of the king, is if you could land a remote closing position selling education. Why? It's a one-call close. It's a high-integrity business, right? Like you're selling somebody the solution to their problems. And if you could find something that lines up with, works for you, like if you're super excited about real estate and you're fortunate enough to work in a company where you're selling a real estate offer, and whenever you help that person make that buying decision, you make a percentage of that, then again, win-win-win. The customer is happy because he has a solution for his real estate needs. The business owner is happy, and you're happy because you got a small cut of the pie as well. Now, in terms of cons, leave some comments below. I really can't see any cons selling into this type of industry and this type of niche. The last example, relationships. So there's a bunch of e-learning companies out there that are selling things on how to save your marriage, how to improve your dating life, right? So anything you could think of, literally there's a informational business out there, and with these businesses growing and absolutely exploding, they're looking for remote closers to get involved in their industry and help them grow the company. Because with these being such high ticket price points, these aren't something that people go to a website and just buy. They have to speak with a remote sales rep. They have to speak with a professional. So there we have it, guys. These are just some of the niches. Again, these aren't all the niches available out there that you could sell remotely. I just wanted to highlight the few that I know for a fact that are six-figure opportunities. If you have everything required, you could earn six figures in any of these opportunities. And number two, the barrier to entry is pretty simple to get involved with. So I hope that helps. I hope that sheds more light.